another video. If I'm being really quiet in this video, it's because Dan and Callie are upstairs asleep because it's actually like 11 o'clock at night. But if I don't film now, I'm never going to. Excuse that I'm in my pyjamas and I've got my hair on top of my head. Luckily I've still got makeup on, so we're winning on that front. Basically guys, this video has been very highly requested and I keep getting questions on Instagram asking when I'm going to put this up. So today we're going to talk about combi feeding, combination feeding, why I decided to combination feed. Basically that is the video. So if you are new to my channel, then I am Olivia. I'm a first time mum to a 5-month-old now little girl called Callie. Yeah, so our breastfeeding journey, obviously I wanted to breastfeed throughout my pregnancy. I was adamant I wanted to do it, I was like determined, and then when it actually came to doing it, it was the hardest thing out of everything to do with having a newborn baby, in my opinion. I just want to say in this video, I've got nothing against mums who breastfeed, I've got nothing against mums who formula feed exclusively, both of them. If you do either and that's it, then I think you're a bloody saint, because breastfeeding is so freaking hard, and formula feeding, I've been lazy. That's why I've carried on doing some breastfeeding, because it's just so much easier in the morning and stuff like that. So yeah, I put a little Q&A on my Instagram and got a few questions basically about combi feeding and other mums wanting to know little bits and bobs about combi feeding, how I found it and what I found helps me. The main question really to start with is, why did I decide to? So Callie, when she was born, she latched on fine. I had her at home. If you haven't seen my home birth video, then I'll put a little link so you can go and watch that. Yeah, I had her at home, so in my opinion, I don't think you get as much support as you do with breastfeeding if you're in an actual ward or in the hospital or whatever, like, because they won't actually let you leave until they've latched on properly. Well, Callie, when she was born, was actually sucking her thumb, so as soon as I put her near me, she latched on straight away. So they didn't actually show me any sort of positions or anything like that, because obviously to them I'd got it straight away. So yeah, that was like the first thing, like there was no problems there. And then as the days went on, I just couldn't get her on me, and the night she was born, obviously my milk hadn't come in yet. She just wouldn't settle. I think that was the first night she was born. So obviously she was born at 4 in the morning, and then we had a good first day. She slept really well, and then I think it was either that night or the night after, my milk still hadn't come in, and colostrum obviously just wasn't enough for her. So we used the little like ready-made bottles that I'd got to take into hospital. I got really upset about that, and I got upset for weeks, just thinking that I wasn't going to be able to just breastfeed, I couldn't feed my own baby. Like, it really got me down, and I don't understand why now. Like, I should have just realised that fed is best. As long as she's happy, then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it really got me down, because I think it's meant to be a natural thing, and if you can't feed your own baby, then yeah, it just wasn't nice. So that was at the beginning. And when my milk, well, then I got support from, there's like obviously with COVID it's not as easy as well, because you can't just walk in or go to these like breastfeeding like cafes or groups or anything like that. So after like a few days you get a call from like the feeding team. Well, I just like really wanted to try and do it myself. Like, I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. So on her, so I don't think I did anything when the feeding team rang me. I thought, oh no, I'll be fine. Like, in a few days she'll be fine, she'll be able to do it. And then when I think we went for our 5 or 10 day check, I can't remember exactly what it was, I asked the actual midwife if she could help me. Now I'm getting this all confused because it's so long ago. So basically, yeah, no. So this lady helped me when I went to see one of the midwives for my check at, I think it was 10 days. Then that helped. Like, Callie was asleep when she tried to help me, so she didn't actually see her latch on properly. She was like asleep, so she was like showing me different ways to hold and different ways to like hold my boob and stuff like that. And then that helped for like the next sort of day and like that day and then the next day after. And then she just started like screaming at my boob again and just not latching on, and I just didn't understand what I was doing wrong, and it was really stressing me out, and I think it was really hot at the time as well. So I was just getting really stressed, and I was like I don't understand why she won't just go on and stay on, like, what am I doing wrong? And then actually I was really lucky, and my midwife that had the whole way through my pregnancy, I texted her and she said, I'll try and pop over, like, I think it was like that day or the day after. And in the end she was at home birth till like silly in the morning, so I said to her, so I like obviously can still see you, can I come to the surgery? So I went and saw her at the doctor's surgery, and she got me to sit on like the computer chair because I was doing it on like the sofa, which was really low and just like really bad seats. So yeah, she got me to sit on the computer chair, and she saw what Callie was doing, refusing and screaming and stuff like that, and she really helped me. And she just said, you just got to like get her and get her on when you can. And she really helped me. So then my mum actually bought me a nursing chair, which when she was really little really did help. But then as time went on, like, she did really well for a long time, and I was still giving her, I think, a couple, maybe one formula a day. I was really trying not to, because it does affect your supply. What it did for me, your body obviously is getting to grips with, when you've got a newborn, how much they need to be fed in a day. So I did always try and put her on me first, and if obviously it wasn't working, then the last resort would be I'd give her a bottle. And I did start to express really early, because obviously when she started refusing, I still wanted her to have my breast milk. So I started using my LV really early, which was a bloody saint. If it wasn't for this, I would have given up way earlier, because there just would have been no easy way to do this. I also used the Medela hand pump. I just feel like them electric pumps, like, you just feel like you're attached 24/7. So that Medela pump, you can just sort of walk around with it, but you still have to do it. But it lets you be able to mimic baby's suck rhythm and stuff like that, so that's really good. I'll link both of these down below, but this is a bloody godsend, and if you can afford to buy this, then I would 100% recommend. You only need one, you don't need the double. This is just excellent, and like I said, if it wasn't for this, then I would have stopped breastfeeding 100%. So yeah, I started to express and do that, and then yeah, like I say, as time went on, she just started to refuse more and more. So then, instead of getting myself sort of stressed out and causing me and Dan to have arguments about how many, like, if I was going to breastfeed her or whatever, and he'd be like, shall I just give her a bottle? And I was like, no, like, got really stressy about it. So yeah, as time went on, I started to use my LV a lot more to express and give her it in a bottle, and I limited it to 2 formulas a day. And that was, I think, for the first, like, I can't remember exactly when we started that, but for the first like 3 months, or maybe just over, I limited it to 2 formulas a day. So I tried to give her like 1 before she went to bed, and then 1 sort of some other time throughout the day. And I was making sure that I always had some pumped milk in the fridge, at least like 3 in advance. So I'd have 3 in the fridge. So if I needed to feed her and she wouldn't latch on or whatever, then I could just go and grab 1 from the fridge. So and then just warm it up with a little thing called a milky meter, which stops it from overheating and stuff like that. So I used to use that, or you can, with the bottles that I'll show you that I use, you can just put them in warm water and it warms them, so they're at a really good temperature to not lose all the vitamins and stuff, because you can overheat and then it just gets rid of all the goodness in there. So yeah, and when we started, so at the beginning when we started formula feeding Callie, we used Aptamil at first, and that started to give her, well, I think it started to give her quite bad colic, and we were giving her, what's that stuff called, Infocol as well. Then we changed to Hip Organic a couple of months ago, maybe a bit over that, and that seemed to be okay. And then she started to start being really like sick, not as sick as a lot of some babies, but she started to be sick a lot more than she ever had been before. She wasn't really a sicky baby. So then I put her onto this, which is Kendamil. It's the only, I think, one of the only formulas that hasn't got any palm oil in it, and it's full fat cream. This is the organic one. There is a non-organic one as well, and they're actually changing the formula of this at the moment. I think that's coming out in like the next couple of weeks. So this you can only buy in Sainsbury's and Waitrose, the organic one. The non-organic one you can also get in Morrison's, because my mum got some accidentally, and I have asked them if that's okay to use, and they said yeah, the only real difference at the moment is the organic side, but in the new formula there is going to be a few more differences. But it was actually Sophie who said that she'd stopped using this, because I'd looked at this and Hip Organic, and my friend had changed her baby's formula to this and it actually made him worse. So, and I didn't do like a big transition, I literally just, I didn't do like a couple of that formula a day and then changed to this one. I literally just straight swapped. And this, I think the price has gone up, but it was £12 when I bought it initially, and then when I bought it in Sainsbury's the other day it was actually £14. But it is really good, and it stopped her being as sicky, and it smells nice, it doesn't smell horrible. It's just, yeah, really nice formula. So that's 0 to 6 months, and then she'll go up to the second one. So that's the formula we've been using, and I'd recommend this. If you're going to start combi feeding, use this from the beginning, because it is bloody good. So that's that one, guys. And then these are the bottles that I use. So this is an 8 ounce one. She's obviously gone up to these as she's got bigger, but initially we started at the beginning using Marm ones, and I couldn't get to grips with the Marm bottles with the screw on bottom. I used to always accidentally screw it on like the wrong way, and then it'd all come out the bottom, or yeah, so I didn't really like them. And then with the Marm ones, I just looked at the teat and thought, I know they say that them ones are really good for breast and bottle like combi feeding. They're meant to be like a really good tea that's meant to be like the nipple, but when you look at it, I don't think it does look like that. So I saw these at the baby show, these and the Nano baby bottles, when I was first pregnant, so it was last November, and I really wanted to get some then, but obviously I didn't want to buy them and then not be able to breastfeed or whatever. I just didn't want to waste my money buying them before I actually knew if I wanted them. So when she was born, I then bought some. I think it was like a month or so, no, not a month, like a week or so into when she was born. And these basically mimic a boob, and the tea is like this. Ignore it's cloudy, it's just come out of the Milton steriliser. So this I thought was so much of a more like for like as a boob and a nipple than any other bottle that I've seen. So yeah, if you're, one of my questions, I'm not actually even going off the questions, but basically somebody asks, sorry I'm just getting on my phone to get these questions. Somebody asked, how do you get a breastfed baby to take a bottle? I'm desperate. So I would definitely recommend trying these. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. And these you can use, like I said, for expressed milk. You can literally, with the newborn set, you get like a little bowl and it's got a little like hump in it, and you just put that on there and then warm it like that with warm water, not with boiling water. But yeah, the standard size, this first size sort of ones go up to 5 ounces, and then they do another bottle which then has got a more flat sort of, it's got more flat bottom, and that goes up to 8 ounces. So yeah, she'll carry on having them for until she gets to 8 ounces, and I don't think they go any bigger. So they are basically made for breast milk, but I put formula in them and they're absolutely fine. So guys, what I'll do is, basically, if you're struggling with anything to do with latching, I would like try and do loads of different holds. So a girl I've become really close with on Instagram, she really helped me. Her Instagram is, I don't want you all to go flooding her questions, but her Instagram is Baby by My Side, I think. Yeah, Baby by My Side, Holly. She really helped me when I was really struggling at the beginning and I was nearly going to give up. She just showed me loads of different holds to do. So basically I was just holding like this, like not really knowing how different to hold, and she basically told me to, well, and the midwives did, to either hold your nipple and use the other hand to get baby behind the neck and get them on, or yeah, she just basically showed me loads of different holds that then can help them get on better. But if you're struggling, then please feel free to comment down below or message me on Instagram or anything. I'll link my Instagram on this video as well, and I can just try and talk you through different ways to try and get baby to latch. But yeah, like I said, I'm going off on one now. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't even know what I was saying. I also loved, well, and still do, laying down breastfeeding. So if you haven't tried that, it is just so much more relaxing. I know it's not easy to do, say if you're going out or something like that, but laying down is a so much more relaxing way, and my midwife actually told me to do that, and at first I was like, how the hell am I meant to do that laying down? But you just literally lay baby next to you in bed. You can like lay on the pillow, and they literally, I usually put my arm around Callie like this, and then she will literally just go on and would feed like that. And we did at the beginning co-sleep like that for a little while. Honestly, you can comment what you like about that, but that worked for us. And the Lullaby Trust say that that is actually safe, and they say that you can do that. So if you're breastfeeding, so yeah, we did that for a while, and it meant that I could get some sleep. So I definitely, if you are breastfeeding, then I would 100% recommend doing that, instead of having to keep sit up and then feel like you're like just like drunk all the time from being so tired, and you're having obviously to sit up and make sure you don't fall asleep. Laying down is a lot more safer, and you can then fall asleep with them. So I definitely 100% recommend that. Somebody else has asked me, let me just go on these again. When do you breastfeed and when do you use formula? Why does this work for you? So like I said, we now I only do 2 feeds in the morning at the most, laying down, and then the rest is actually now formula, because I've just got to a point where my boobs aren't really producing that much at all. And that was my choice last week, that I decided I just wasn't going to express anymore, because it was just stressing me out that nothing was coming out, and my LV wasn't even getting my boob anymore and producing any. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to feed her in the morning for convenience, so I don't have to get up and go downstairs to get a bottle. But sometimes with the second feed it's just not enough, so I have to come down and get a bottle anyway. So that's fine. I'm fine with that now. I've done nearly 5 months of as much breastfeeding as I can, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So yeah. But like I said before, we were doing at the most 2 formula feeds a day. So I just say to yourself, if you're going to start combi feeding, give yourself a set amount a day of formula that you're going to give, and then do all the rest as breast milk, because your body will then adapt to what you're doing. Because if you drop 2 feeds and do formula, your body will then adapt to dropping them 2 feeds and not producing as much breast milk, obviously, unless you overproduce. I as well didn't, in my opinion, my supply wasn't very good, and I always thought that was why Callie was getting so upset. And yeah, I wasn't producing enough, but then when it was coming out, it was like squirting in her face. So I haven't got the biggest boobs in the world anyway. So yeah, so I did try different things, which did really help me with my supply. I could 100% tell when I wasn't doing these things. So taking Fenugreek Supplement, which is like they use it in curries. It's quite smelly, but it really helps with breast milk supply. Then also, you would have seen me rave about this all the time, the Hot Tea Mama tea, the Milks Up one, that really helped me. I used to drink that either before bed, in the morning. You can drink up to 3 of them a day, herbal teas, so that was absolutely brilliant. I'll link that down below. And also the Boobix range, so the cookies are absolutely unreal. My favourite flavours of them are double chocolate and chocolate chip. And the hot chocolate, oh my god, I miss that now because I've stopped drinking that. That before bed, literally, I'd have one of them before bed and then pump at the same time as drinking my little hot chocolate, and that was literally like my little thing. I wouldn't usually go to bed till 12 o'clock, but yeah, that was my little thing. So I'll put them products down below. If you're wanting to increase your supply or keep it up or whatever, then I definitely recommend getting them. Then what else, guys? What other questions have I been asked? Sorry, I'm just checking because my camera I think is going to go off. I think it's not. So the next one was, obviously I've answered how to get breastfed baby to take a bottle. I'm desperate. That 100% I recommend trying those baby bottles, Nano Baby. I'll link those. Sophie's asked how many bottles versus how many breast milk. I've answered that. That was quite a generic question, and somebody else put breakdown of bottles to boob ratio. That is just something that you need to decide and set yourself and be quite strict with that. I was really strict with the 2 formulas thing, and then I just upped it gradually, and now, like I said, I only do 2 feeds of off me in the morning. So set yourself like a, I'm only going to do this amount, and yeah, go from there. What else, guys? How many feeds do you do for each? I've been breastfeeding for 6 months but want to combi. Again, like I said, I keep saying, just set yourself how many you want to do, even if you want to do 1. But I know that some people obviously do that already. So yeah, just set yourself like 2 a day. I didn't do specific times a lot of the time either. I'd always do 1 before bed. That was like the formula, like that was set. But the other one I'd sometimes dot about. Sometimes I'd do it like 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'd do it in the morning. Like, yeah, it was all completely different. But 9 times out of 10 it was in the afternoon, because I mostly would feed in the morning off me. So yeah, just set yourself when you want to do what. And again, how many times are you breastfeeding a day now? So now it's actually only twice, like I said, and the rest is formula. How did you make sure combifeeding didn't mess with your supply? I won't. Obviously, if you're only dropping a certain amount of feeds, this is where you need to be strict with it. You need to set yourself, say if it's, like I said, if it's 2 like I did, you need to only do 2. Obviously, I don't think it would mess up your supply that much if you, say, did 3 one day and then went back to 2 the next day and then carried on with 2. But if you really go, oh, I'm going to do 3 formulas that day, 4 that day, 2 that day, it will then, because your boobs won't be able to keep up with what you're doing. So yeah, like I keep saying, it's really said about 20 times, just set yourself an amount that you're going to do each day, because then your body will get used to what you're doing. And again, like I said, with not messing with your supply, just keep up with certain things, like you can eat those cookies that I said about, drink the hot chocolate or the tea, whatever. Just make sure you're taking something for your supply. Do you give a formula bottle before bed, and does this help her sleep longer? In my opinion, yes, I think it does, because I feel like with breastfeeding, until they get established and until they get to a certain age, you're still like, I don't know, you get like cluster feeding and stuff like that. So in my opinion, 100% it makes her sleep better, and she is an amazing sleeper. At the minute she's doing a weird thing where she will wake up and I can just put a dummy back in, put the white noise back on, and she'll go straight back to sleep. But yeah, so she's just being a little monkey sometimes. But yeah, guys, I hope that helped. I know that was a little random talking absolute crap video, but I really hope it helps some of you. If you've got any more questions, please comment down below and I will try my best to answer them and give you the best advice I can, but obviously I'm not a doctor, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a feeding specialist. I'm just going off what's been best for me, Callie and Dan, because obviously Dan's been able to help as well. That's another reason it just works for us. It means I can leave her for longer. I know that's why a lot of people want to do it, because it means that they can get back to work and not have to worry about doing certain stuff. But if you are going back to work and you want to start combi feeding, I can't recommend this enough, because you can literally just put it in your top, you can walk around, you can do whatever. Camera decided to go off then. Don't tip over doing it, because it will spill sometimes. I don't know why people expect it to stay in there when it's got a hole, but yeah, I haven't got my shield on at the minute, by the way. But yeah, if you can get a hold of this, then I would 100% recommend it. Or if you can borrow it off a friend or something, you can obviously sterilise it and borrow it from a friend. But if you're wanting to combi feed and you want to express, I'd 100% recommend this and the bottles and the formula, because they just all go hand in hand really well. But yeah, like I said guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions, please do message me on Instagram or comment down below, and I will give you the best advice that I have found, and if I don't know the answer, I'll try and find it out for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Why do I keep saying the same thing? Please do give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and I will see you in my next one, which is going to be, I think, either a home birth Q&A or a Cherries haul, which is a bargain website and app. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one guys. Take care.